Hey y'all! Happy Friday the 13th, for me at least, and hopefully you had a good day reading today. And we are going to be talking about the new book releases of October 16th today. There is an interesting, quite smaller list this week, with a few of them that I was like, huh. I did add a few more this morning though, but we will have timestamps for each of the genres. If this is your first video, hi, I'm Morgan. I hope you enjoy it and you will go check out some of my other ones. Now, let's get into the fantasy books on this list. We are starting out with fantasy this week, and the first two books are actually, they're brain twister teaser things because, okay, the first one is Two Twisted Crowns. I said it right. By Rachel Gelling. I keep tongue twisting myself on that one. This is the sequel to One Dark Window. I find this interesting because it's listed as adult fantasy, whereas the first book was YA fantasy, and it read YA. So why is this one listed as adult? You really shouldn't do that between your series, especially when it's only a duology. This is going to be the conclusion, which I really want to see how it's going to play out with how the first book ended. Because it says it's like the entire kingdom is in danger and monsters abound. Two Twisted Crowns has the dark fantasy staples that will make you fall in love with the series alongside women's empowerment and an atmospheric overtone. Yes, atmospheric. It says Elizabeth must confront the weight of her actions as she and Raven embark on a perilous quest to save the kingdom. And it says it's perfect for fans of For the Wolf and The Year of the Witching. Maybe they're going to try and bump both of them up to adult fantasy, like reclassify the first one too. But it just read so YA. In it, you're following Elizabeth Spindle as she is a girl who has lived pretty much her whole life with this spirit trapped inside her that she calls the Nightmare. And in this country kingdom that she lives in, they're very secluded from the rest of the world because of a curse of fog, pretty much, that separates them from the world. Magic is banned unless you use the special cards that the Spirit of the Wood granted a long ago king of this country called Blunder. And unless you're using those cards, which anybody can use, with side effects though, then you're not supposed to be using magic. Like, they kill children who get infected with this fever from the Spirit of the Wood also, and that once the fever passes, they have magic. They kill the kids. Hello, sunshine. I did not think you would be joining me. So yeah, it's a very dark thing there. And Elizabeth though meets these highwaymen who are trying to collect all the cards to end the curse from the Spirit of the Wood and like remove the fog and save their kingdom, because being secluded with the fog like encroaching too, farmlands dying, these people are on the brink. So yeah, it was quite an interesting read. The only things I would say is I wanted more details in some aspects, and our character like would divert from it, and I'm like, go into the spooky room, find the truth. But she didn't. No, we wanted to be selfish and go do teenagery things and moody feelings and stuff. Moving on from that though, the next one is interesting because I swear it already came out, and it did kind of. It came out in ebook and audio in June, and it was also in, I think, the Fairy Loot box for that month. But Shanghai Immortal by A.Y. Chow is coming out in hardback like this week. And also it looked like somebody had pulled the audio down or the paperback down as well, and said that one wouldn't be released until the 17th as well. And I was like, this is weird. And this one would follow a half vampire, half fox spirit in all of trouble. I won't go into too much detail since apparently it has already kind of released. Maybe I should have gone into it more. I don't know. I just thought it was interesting to see it listed as a new release when it has already come out. And our last fantasy of the week is going to be The Witches at the End of the World by Chelsea Averson. Rage burns brighter than any spellfire. Deep in the birch woods of Norway, magic courses through the veins of two sisters. For years they've been alone, and sweet-tempered Kaija is tired of living in shadows and longs for a life filled with community, even if it means stifling her magic. But Mina is a witch through and through, with wrath always simmering just below the surface. Different as they may be, both will never forget the day they were driven from their village, the day their mother burned. When Kaija leaves to pursue a new life, Mina is left alone in the darkness of the forest. Devastated and outraged at the betrayal, Mina casts a curse to punish those who took everything from her. What she doesn't realize is that this act will incite a deadly chain of events. Soon it will destroy everything, including the life Kaija has lovingly built. But once a witch's rage boils, regret means nothing. She can't take back what she's already done. Someone will have to burn. So it says it's a magical story of sisterhood, revenge, and feminist rage. Next up is Sci-Fi with These Burning Stars by Bethany Jacobs. This is the first in the Kingdom trilogy. It's supposed to be a new sci-fi space opera. I don't know why I said sci-fi again. I don't know. On a dusty backwater planet, occasional thief Joan Ironway has gotten her hands on a score of a lifetime, a secret that could raise the kingdom, the ruling power of the galaxy. A star system away, preternaturally stoic Chono and brilliant hothead Ezek, the two most brutal clerics in the kingdom, are tasked with hunting June down. And tracking all three across the stars is a ghost from their shared past known only as Six. But what Six wants is anyone's guess. It's a game of manipulation and betrayal that could destroy them all, and they have no choice but to see it through. Then we have Generationship by Michael Mamie. It's a standalone. He's the author of Planetside. In 2108, colony ship Voyager departed Earth for the planet Promissa with 18,000 of the world's best and brightest on board. 250 years, 27 light years later, an arrival is imminent, but all is not well. The probes that they've sent ahead to gather the data needed to establish any kind of settlement aren't responding, and the information they've received has presented more questions than answers. It's a time when the entire crew should be coming together to solve the problem, but Science Officer Sheila Jackson can't get people to listen. When the finish line is in sight, a group of crew members want an end to the draconian rules that their forebears put in place generations before. However, Security Force Officer Mark Rector and his department have different plans. As alliances form and fall, Governor Jared Pantil sees only one way to bring Voyager citizens together and secure his own power: a full-scale colonization effort. Yet he must have underestimated the passion of those working for the other side. Meanwhile, a harsh alien planet awaits that might have its own ideas about being colonized. A battle for control brews, and a victory for one group could mean death for them all. My guest host, who has finally finished her prepping, and now she can just be sitting here. Sorry for all that was probably in the background. We're moving into a YA now, though, with All That Consumes Us by Erica Waters. It's supposed to be a Ninth House meets The Dread and the Dark. Magni Animi Nonquam Monitor. Great minds never die. I said that probably so horrible. Latin. Whew. The students of Corbin College's elite academic society, Magni Veri, have it all: free tuition, inspirational professors, and dream jobs once they graduate. First-gen college student Tara is offered a chance to enroll. She doesn't hesitate. Except once she's settled into a gorgeous Victorian dormitory, something strange starts to happen. She's finally writing, but her stories are dark and twisted. Her dreams feel as if they could bury her alive. An unseen presence seems to stalk her through the halls. And a chilling secret awaits Tara at the heart of Magni Veri, one that just might turn her nightmares into reality, one that might destroy her before she has a chance to escape. Then we have a YA fantasy called A Bright Heart by Kate Chinley. What if you could avenge your own murder? A bright young woman gets a second chance at life in this debut YA tale of vengeance, court intrigue, and romance inspired by classic Chinese tropes. Ming Xin outsmarted 3 princes to help the man she loved become king, but she doesn't see Ren's betrayal coming, not until she's lying in a pool of her own blood on the palace steps. As she's dying, Ming Xin makes a desperate plea to the gods to turn back time and give her a chance to make things right. Ming Xin wakes up 2 years earlier, her prayer granted, and swears 2 things: Ren will never become king, and she will never fall in love again. But the timeline in this life has changed. A dignitary gifted with dark magic is threatening her kingdom's peace, and Ren's thirst for power runs deeper than Ming Xin could have imagined. She finds herself allying with Jia, another contender for the throne. Ming Xin knows better than anyone not to give her heart to a prince, but in the viper's nest of the royal court, she and Jia prove a phenomenal team. Can Ming Xin avert the catastrophe of her past by once again learning to trust and even maybe love? Master storyteller... Oh, wait, not that part. Now for some fiction books. The first one is The Unmaking of June Farrow by Adrienne Young, and this one's description sounds very familiar if you have been following Al Crate's descriptions of what their adult fantasy books are going to be. In the small mountain town of Jasper, North Carolina, June Farrow is waiting for fate to find her. The Farrow women are known for their thriving flower farm and the mysterious curse that has plagued their family line. The whole town remembers the madness that led to Savannah Farrow's disappearance, leaving June to be raised by her grandmother and haunted by rumors. If it follows their family line, how is her grandma? I like that. Oh, could have been the other grandma, I suppose. It's been a year since June started seeing and hearing things that weren't there. Faint wind chimes, a voice calling her name, and a mysterious door appearing out of nowhere. The signs that June always knew was coming. But June is determined to end the curse once and for all, even if she must sacrifice finding love and having a family of her own. After her grandmother's death, June discovers a series of cryptic clues regarding her mother's decades-old disappearance, except they lead to more questions. But could the door she once assumed was a hallucination be the answer she's been searching for? The next time it appears, June realizes she can touch it and walk past the threshold. And when she does, she embarks on a journey that will not only change both the past and the future, but also uncover the lingering mysteries of her small town and entangle her heart in an epic star-crossed love. I've never read any of her books, so I guess this one will be the first. Then we have Jonathan Abernathy You Are Kind by Molly McGee. Jonathan Abernathy is a self-proclaimed loser. He's behind on his debts, has no prospects, no friends, and no ambitions. But when a government loan forgiveness program offers him a literal dream job, he thinks he's found his big break. If he can appear to be competent in his new job, entering the minds of middle-class workers while they sleep and removing the unsavory detritus of their waking lives from their unconscious, he might have a chance at a new life. As Abernathy finds his footing in this new role, reality and morality begin to warp around him. Soon, the lines between life and work, love and hate, right and wrong, even sleep and consciousness begin to blur. Then we move into thrillers. The first one is going to be The Exchange by John Grisham. This is the follow-up novel to, I think it was his first one, The Firm, and we are going back and finding out what actually happened to those characters all this time later. It says, what became of Mitch and Abby McDeary after they exposed the crimes of a Memphis law firm, Bindi, Lambert, and Locke, and fled the country? The answer is in The Exchange, a riveting sequel to The Firm, the blockbuster thriller that launched the career of blah, 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 blah. It is now 15 years later, and Mitch and Abby are living in Manhattan, where Mitch is a partner at the largest law firm in the world. I'm not going to read too much about it. That was probably too much as it was. But yeah, it's 15 years later. We're going back to these characters to find out what happened to them after that riveting first book, The Firm, which I've heard so much about, you know. I've heard it named a lot, but never. Okay, and then a psychological thriller. This one is actually a novella, which I don't get how it's going to wrap up in the 112 pages. It says she is really... It's The Christmas Guest by Peter Swanson. Ashley Smith, an American student in London for her junior year, was planning on spending After her close-up with the camera, our co-host has decided to leave us. And now back to The Christmas Guest. Ashley Smith, an American art student in London for her junior year, was planning on spending Christmas alone. But a last-minute invitation from fellow student Emma Chapman brings her to Starwood Hall, country residence of the Chapman family. The Cotswold Manor house, festooned in pine bras and cramped with guests for Christmas week, is a dream come true for Ashley. She's mesmerized by the cozy firelit house, the large family, and the charming village of Clovermore, but also by Adam Chapman, Emma's aloof and handsome brother. Okay, I'm not going to read the next paragraph, but I'm going to skip to the other part. It says, over 30 years later, the events of that horrific week are revisited, along with a diary from that time. What began in a small English village in 1989 reaches its ghostly conclusion in modern-day New York, many Christmas seasons later. I feel like reading the other one since the novella might still be too much. Our last book of the week is a cozy mystery, and this is one of my anticipated releases. It's A Nutcracker Nightmare by Christina Ramel. I read the first book last year. I'll read most of the description, I think, because I don't think they're too highly connected, except, you know, same characters, same town, but they're all kind of like standalones, maybe. I don't know. We'll find out. Hannah and Alex, owners of Murder and Mayhem, a book and chocolate shop, are busy preparing for Harrison High School's reunion weekend. Neighbors will connect with old friends and perhaps try to avoid old foes. One person no one can avoid is Kyle, the former star quarterback who is busy using his entire playbook to try and score with Hannah, even threatening her if she doesn't play nice. At the reunion, Alex glimpses more drama than nostalgia as insults are flying around like football at Friday night game. The party is put on hold when Alex finds the dead body of none other than Kyle himself, bludgeoned to death by a nutcracker that the sisters had admired earlier that night. Hannah quickly becomes the prime suspect. Someone saw her slap Kyle in the face at the reunion dance. She'll need her sister, their sleuthing canine, Watson, and their old friends and colleagues to help them break this case wide open. While looking through old yearbooks and taking a stroll down memory lane, Alex uncovers a few secrets about Kyle. Now it seems like everyone had a motive to kill him. But when the suspects start becoming the victims, Alex and Hannah know they can't melt under the pressure. They must find the killer before they become just another yearbook memory. So it's happening at like a reunion, but that's not happening in like the fall. I don't know, but there's a nutcracker and it's very snowy. So I still feel like I'm gonna read it around Christmas time. There are definitely some books on this list that I will be adding to my TBR very soonish. We're going with soon-ish. And I hope that you will stick around for some of my other videos, like the spoiler reading vlog. I don't know why I'm pointing. It's the First Thoughts vlog, though. It'll be out probably this weekend. Maybe I'll put it out before this weekend. I'm not sure yet. And he'll also have the Secret Project 4 unboxing to show the pretty book and stuff on it as well. And our giveaway winner will be announced this week. Yay! And if you would like to join a book club, please join us in the Discord. And we will be starting in November, I do believe. It's going to be bi-monthly. I think it's what we seem to choose on. So go ahead and join us and submit your votes for the next book that you would like us to read. It'll be a fun time. I'm hoping. Yes. And check out some of my other videos that are out now, like the Secret Project 4 spoiler-free review of the book, and any of my other unboxings things that I'm going to put here. Go check them out. Hope you're having an awesome day, finding something great to read, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye, y'all.